Welcome back everyone. This is the Stoke Voltaics Nomad Cooking System. It is designed to be a modular, low wattage solution to preparing the perfect recipe, and it does an excellent job of achieving its goal. Stoke Voltaics sent me this system for a test and review, but they do not have any control of what I say about it. So I'll start off by saying that this is a very well designed product, but the price point is a little high for what you get. But with that high price point comes excellent digital control ranging from 200 watts to 1000 watts of power consumption. Inside the box you will find the reactor, the detachable handle, the lid, the sizzling pot, and the boiling pot. This reactor is pretty compact and it takes up a footprint of about 6.8 inches in diameter and 2.5 inches tall. The sizzling pot is slightly larger with a diameter of 8.65 inches and a height of 3.5 inches. And it only holds about 45 ounces, but you really only have about 20 ounces of usable space when you fill about halfway. This bubbling pot is slightly taller with a height of 5.55 inches and has the same 8.65 diameter as the sizzling pan. It also has a larger volume than the sizzling pan with a capacity of up to 50 ounces, and the maximum fill line is only 34 ounces or just over 1 quart. This entire system, stowed and packed away, comes in at 6.6 pounds. And as you can see, this is about as compact as you get. I could pull the handle off and I could pull off the power cable, but you get the idea. The detachable handle is easy to use with a simple lever and button. Press the button to fully open the handle and then place the handle on the pot you want to lift. Then rotate the lever, making sure that it is securely attached to the pot that you want to lift. This lid has a notch that appears like it's a cutout for pouring. However, this is the spot for the handle to attach. And on the other side, there are these 5 holes. However, I don't feel like these holes are here for pouring. They appear to be more for letting off steam because they're so far inward from the edge of the lid. I brought the system outside to cook with it in an environment that I would be more likely to use when I'm out camping, which is the back of my Jeep Gladiator. And on today's menu, I've got an old steak that I'll cook in the sizzling pot, as well as some pre-packaged rice and veggies that is a typical meal that I would cook out on the trail. To get the system started, first I want to go ahead and plug in the power cable. Now that I'm powered up, I'll place the sizzling pot on top of the reactor. To get started, I'm going to go ahead and just push the center button, and it's going to start me out at 200 watts. But because I want to sear my steak, I'm going to go ahead and rotate it up to 400, wrong way, 600, 800, and 1000 watts. I'm going to go ahead and attach the handle. That way I know not to grab the pot as it's warming up. And it feels like it's warming up already. So let me get my butter in. I do like to make my steaks with butter. That's a trick I learned from my buddy. That is a lot more butter than I needed, but I put it in there because I want to see how well this stuff sizzles. I've also got some leftover onions I'll go ahead and throw in there just to add a little flavor to my steak. You can hear that stuff sizzling right up. Now, one thing I want to point out is that I have only a few plastic utensils, and you will want to use a plastic utensil with this system because it has that non-stick coating, and metal utensils will scratch up that non-stick coating. I'm going to let these onions simmer for a few minutes, get them boiled down, sizzled up, and then I will throw my steak on top of that bed of onions. In fact, my onions are cooking pretty good, so I'm going to go ahead and turn it down to maybe 600 watts. I don't necessarily want to burn anything in the pan. Because my Jeep isn't very level, I'm going to make sure to rotate the pan every once in a while just to keep all the butter from sticking on one side of the pan. While these onions get cooked a little bit, this is a perfect time to talk about my first use with the pot a few days ago. And one of the things I noticed is as you are cooking with both pots, there's sort of a horseshoe shaped ring inside of the pot where the coil is. So the coils aren't necessarily like an induction cooktop where the entire surface will be uniformly heated. Hasn't been a problem in my cooking, but that is something I wanted to make sure to point out. I'm gonna go ahead and grab my steak out of my bag, put it down on top of that surface there. We'll go ahead and let it start cooking. And since I've got my steak on there, I'm gonna go ahead and turn that up to 1000 watts again. I'm going to actively try to sear a little bit while cooking on top of those onions. So one thing I've got to watch out for is because I put so much butter in there and so many onions, I'm probably not going to get that charred effect from the sizzling pot, but it will come out very juicy when it's finally completed. One feature that I really like about the Reactor is that it does tell you how long you've been cooking for. However, I did start this, put my butter and my onions in, so I don't know exactly what point I put my steak in, but I know that I've been running this thing for almost 9 minutes now. Let's go ahead and take a peek at the bottom of the steak and just see how it's looking. Even through those onions, I am getting just a little bit of a charred look. I'm gonna let it cook for just a few more minutes on this side. So I've been cooking for over 11 minutes now, and the onions are starting to get that nice golden brown color that I like to see. I might flip the steak one more time just to clean off the edges, and then I'm gonna go ahead and try to swap over to the rice. So before I swap out the steak and start cooking the rice, I do want to point out that the pot obviously is very hot, but also the reactor is slightly warm to the touch. So you're going to want to make sure that you have a place where you can let this sit for a few minutes after you're done cooking, that you don't have to move this thing. And the reactor is absolutely overkill for this 10-ounce bag of rice. I should have picked something a little bigger to cook because my rice is already starting to sizzle. So one of my initial concerns with this system is that it was not going to be enough for 2 people. However, I barely was able to fill the system here with this bag of rice, meaning that I could have probably fit 3 or 4 of these bags in here, and that would have been plenty for more than one person to eat. For me, this is perfect. And if I wanted to make a slightly smaller steak, maybe 2 of those and then 2 of these bags in here, that'd be ideal for 2 people. However, as you get to 4 or 5 people, this may not be enough space to cook a full meal for 4 or 5 people. I lowered the reactor down to 200 watts because I didn't want to burn my rice while I was talking, but the bubbling pot does have really good internal controls to prevent it from causing unnecessary damage to the pot. And what that will do is, as you cook on the lower wattages, it will cycle the element on and off in an attempt to keep the pot at a very consistent internal temperature. Right now I have it down to 600 watts. I feel like I have adequately cooked this stuff, and I've been cooking for about 21 minutes total between the steak and the rice. The only thing left to do now is get a plate, throw the stuff in the plate, and see how it turned out. There are 3 ways to stop the cooking process. The first way is to hit the button, and that'll pause it. The second way is to remove the pan. That would also pause it. So if it was on, remove the pan, and that automatically pauses it. The third way, which is the safest way, is to just hold the power button for 3 seconds. That'll shut it down completely. Now it's shut down. It still has power to the internal fan, preventing it from overheating and allowing it to cool off a little bit. But for my more remote cooking that I like to do, I'm going to go ahead and disconnect the power from the pan completely. That way I know for sure I don't accidentally turn it on or something happens and shorts out while I'm not paying attention to it. This is more than enough food for one person, but the only thing truly left to do is see how did my steak turn out. And this thing smells really good. The steak is a little cool now. I should have eaten it a little sooner, but I'm gonna go ahead and finish my meal, and then after that, I'll talk about some of the pros and cons of the Reactor and the Nomad cooking system that I think are important for someone who's planning to use this in a small vehicle camping setup. I've gotten everything cleaned up and packaged up as tight as it can get. And it is a little smaller than it was when I first mentioned it at the beginning of the video. The reactor and the power cable are inside of the bubbling pot, and everything does fit in there nicely. However, this does bring me to my pros and cons for this video. The first pro is I love the ease of use of this cook pot system. You simply plug it in, push a button, and you get the power wattage consumption that you want. That's very simple. And that brings me to my first con with the system, which is that you can only use one of these pots at a time. Now, it is a reactor and it does come with the 2 pots. However, my steak did get cold before I got done cooking the rice. And so if I am gonna do a multi-course meal, I have to plan a little better to make sure that I get the warm item that I want, or the hotter item freshly cooked off of the system, to be the last thing to come off. Not a huge showstopper, given that I could have probably sizzled my steak in the bubbling pot and then just put the rice and veggies inside the bubbling pot on top of that. And then a lot of people don't like to mix all of their food like that, but I'll only have 1 pot to work with, 1 mess to clean, and it could have been a lot easier, maybe taking a little bit less time overall as well. So that brings me to my second pro, which goes along the lines of the ease of use, which is the wattage control. You have those 200 watt increments, 2, 4, 6, 8, and 1000 watts. That's very convenient, and you can look at those. They probably could have been listed as low, medium high, those kind of things. But as someone who likes to use a lot of power stations, knowing the wattage consumption is actually a very good feature or a way to display that information. And that brings me to my second con, which is that this thing really is only suitable for 2, maybe 3 people max, depending on how hungry everyone is. I feel like for me, 2 people would be perfect. For 1 person, I honestly did have a lot more room, but I would not expect to get a meal for 4 or 5 people out of this cook pot system. And so that brings me to my next pro, which is, although it did have the little horseshoe shaped hot spots when I was boiling the water, if I was not boiling water, I didn't really notice that. The cook pot system is very good at regulating the temperature at those wattages so that it doesn't burn the surface or burn whatever you're cooking. So you could reasonably cook something in here and not worry about having to continuously stir because the heat is not super evenly distributed. And that brings me to another con for this system, which is that there is no truly convenient way to carry this. This lid could fall off without any kind of carrying case or anything like that. I could lose that. I could lose the power cable. I could lose the reactor. If this thing gets shuffled around in, storage somewhere, the handle could get lost. All these things are not securely packaged together unless I put them back in this box, for example. And so that's somewhat of a con. I'm sure that's something we could live with, and I could easily put this in a paper bag or a plastic bag or something just to keep it all together. And then that brings me to one more con, which I mentioned at the beginning of the video, and that is that this system is, as you see, is $250. There are some other options that are not designed to be as compact and not designed to be as essentially off-grid or car camping friendly that you could buy for probably around half that price. So if you want the technology, the tailored experience for this kind of package, then that money is probably worth it, but you would have to decide whether or not this is worth it to you. And that does bring me to my final pro, and that is that this Stoke Voltaics brand, this is the second item that I've tested for them. And the first one was this Stoke Voltaics, I can't even remember the name of it, but I use this quite frequently to make stuff. You'll see this in some of my camping videos on my channel because this is all in one. It's got its lid, it's got its power cable, all inside of the package. When I use this thing, I know that, hey, when I'm done, I clean it up, I put it away, it's ready to use the next time. This company does focus or emphasize low wattage electronic cooking devices, which is essentially something that is ideal for the kinds of videos that I make with the small vehicle camping. If you are considering purchasing this system, check my link in the video description. I have a small discount code. In addition to that, I do get a small commission from any sales from that link. but it is not at any cost to you, so check that out. And if you enjoy my content, please be sure to subscribe, like this video, and I'll see you guys on my next adventure.